In September of 2019, Texas changed some laws. And some of those legal changes went into effect at the beginning of 2020, and some of them have a multi year process, including 2 or 3 years, where different aspects of the laws are going to be changing as part of the updates to the changes they approved for last September. Some of the changes included changes to what's considered confidential information. For instance, certain information on the location or identifying information connected to various kinds of corporations can be kept confidential. Some of the terms of their contracts can be kept confidential. If you have a lawsuit with a public corporation or a municipality, the terms can be kept confidential. And then there's other things connected to the bidding process, connected to procurement of contracts in Texas that can be kept confidential. I contend these laws are completely unconstitutional and are part of a more nefarious policy that has been at work since I've been in Texas in November of 2016. There have been several changes to the Constitution of Texas that make absolutely no sense from a constitutional perspective, but do make sense if, in violation of the explicit terms of the Constitution, which preclude privileging of any sect over any other, you actually try to constitutionalize Masonic ritual practice. Now, in the records that used to be publicly accessible about people that had important roles, including as inspectors general in various Masonic lodges in Texas, even the inspectors general say that the Constitution takes precedence over whatever would be considered appropriate ritual performance or implementation of policies connected to any of the lodges in the state of Texas. Nonetheless, in the last 3 years, somehow, even when less than 12% of the eligible voter population goes to the polls, they change the Constitution with things like tax waivers involving animals, or subsidies or tax waivers for partially disabled veterans that have a contribution from a charitable organization. These things don't make any literal linear sense. Putting the fief into the Constitution without disclosing what the is doesn't make any sense unless you understand it in performance of a specific kind of ritual practice that is part of certain sects, but may be considered unconstitutional or an egregious breach of a faith tradition from another sect. And they make no constitutional sense. It's actually explicitly against the Constitution to do these things they've allowed to masquerade as constitutional amendments. Why would Texas do this? I don't really know. Nobody gives a straight answer in Texas. What I do know is that one day I was trying to plant some seeds, and I was in the room I have, and I had some seed packets, and I had little cups. And then right as I'm trying to plant those seeds, somebody has to come into my room and make an emergency repair. Nobody had told me that there was going to be a repair that needed to access my room. You know, one of those plumbing things. Somebody had put a home repair on some sort of bid for some sort of contract. That's what they do. They get home repairs, or they get some sort of aesthetic change, or some sort of calling in of a contractor, and then they use the invoice connected to that as a derivative agreement connected to some other bid for something else. And they came right into my room while I was planting my seeds. And I was upset because it was undeclared. And why did they have to wait until this day that I was trying to start my garden? Now none of my seeds will grow. See, I had a couple of seeds that got in the cup and they grew into seedlings. But as soon as I took them out of the cup and I put them into the pot, they literally won't grow. How does 4 weeks go by and a seedling doesn't get any higher, and it doesn't get any bigger, and it doesn't start to flower, and it doesn't grow any new leaves? It's been over 4 weeks. It just won't grow. It's like it's frozen. I have another plant. It's on the porch. It won't grow. What the fuck did Texas do that I can't even grow a plant to give me fruit? It won't grow. What did they do? This isn't something I did. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not making it up. Literally. The plants won't grow. What the fuck do they need to keep confidential? Is it the pot? Is it the soil? Is it the water? Is it my bad attitude? Is it that the fairies are trying to tell us something?